Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and you are looking at the blue drink in my DAI Tervis tumbler. This is what I drink every single morning. Look at it, it looks really cool before you mix it up. And this gentleman right here is correct. Like, it looks like a supplement I take daily. Good stuff, pharmaceutical grade methylene blue. 1 drop is all you need, am I correct? You're correct, it's methylene blue, not on the drops. Okay, so I was just mixing that. I thought you'd all be interested. Don't forget, the tickets are setting, the XRP Las Vegas tickets, record sales going on, xrplasvegas.com, link in the description. Once you get to the website, you can buy tickets here. You can buy discounted rooms at MGM Grand there. Then we've got Link to, who's... Link to, folks, picks and shovels. It's not just the digital assets. It's also the private equity associated with the digital assets that are going to be booming in 2025, in my opinion. Link to is one of my sponsors. You can get private equity there. Many AI plays, or fintech plays. That's the fancy term for crypto with private equity. You can go find them there. I own many of them. Go to linqto.com, or you can download the Link to app. Okay, one more thing to clean up here. Glint, who's one of my sponsors, they just added silver. They've always had gold on the platform. Ray Fuentes is letting us know they just added silver. It went live today, is my understanding. Now let's get to the markets. We have had a pretty major pullback. XRP's at XRP's bumping back up now already. Check this out. I love the pullbacks. When we have these pullbacks in crypto, when the pullbacks happen in these bull runs, when everybody knows it's a bull run, these are the opportunities. What I always like to look at and tell people is this, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I like to point out. This right here is when the market crashed here in the last hour or so. But the why of why it crashes is what's important. The reason that the market crashed, first of all, we were showing in the last video about Korean exchanges and how crazy they were going and all that. Well, just by, who knows, market manipulation, by coincidence, who knows? Nobody knows right now. But a surprise martial law was declared in South Korea and sent XRP and other crypto prices quickly plunging. And this right here is another piece of news. The all Korean won trading pairs on Korean exchanges suddenly began to plummet, with Bitcoin falling to 70. It didn't fall to 79 in the U.S. It fell to there on their exchanges. XRP did not fall to 189 in the U.S. It just fell there on those Korean exchanges. But these things, folks, I'm telling you, I've been in this a long time. All of these geopolitical issues or market manipulation, the most common thing that's killed in bull runs, that's just pounded the markets temporarily, has been when countries like China, Russia, India announced that they're banning cryptocurrency. I bet they've each done this 4 or 5 times since 2013. And it's pure market manipulation. All they have to do is float out an article. No telling how many billions of dollars these countries have made doing that. This, I don't know if this is a legitimate problem over in South Korea, but it has nothing to do with crypto. That's the point. Now, and here's a video of they actually had troops storming their parliament. Okay? Everybody loves some good drama. Now, let's talk about what is important. And I tweeted this out. I'm loving where it is. Solid pullbacks are good in these bull runs. The train has left the station. We're just getting some goats off the tracks right now. Reminds me when I remember being on a train in the wintertime when I was younger in Switzerland, and I remember you talking about some beautiful scenery. Go to Switzerland and ride those trains, especially in the wintertime where the snow, or I guess in the springtime is probably even more beautiful. But we were on this train, and all of a sudden the train hit the brakes, and it's because there was some kind of mountain goat or something crossing the tracks, and freaked us out because we had never experienced that before. But but anyway, that's what I think of when we see these pullbacks that are based on nothing having to do with XRP and what's going on. These are I'm not going to say buying opportunities, because I'm not buying. I bought when things were really scary. There is no fear now. Nothing. There is no problem now. But anyway, so Anders L points out this is the stuff that does matter, that's imminent. The one where we pointed out that Eleanor Terrett said that a new SEC chair could be announced today. And then this one that Ripple's poised for New York approval of the stable coin. That's supposed to happen tomorrow. Okay, these are the things that really matter. These are the things that are going to make this thing pop. And then there's this.
What are we talking about here in terms of these new money rails systems? So firstly, we're talking about different forms of payment rails. So a very big part of blockchain technology is bringing out something like the Ripple network, which wants to be the next generation of a payment network, a cash system. So we know society is going to change in the next 15, 20, 30 years, where our physical cash will fall away, and we will transition through a few mediums, but we are heading towards a full new digital rail system. So the question is, will we have one rails for the world? Is it Bitcoin that will win out and be the ubiquitous money rail system for the world? Or will we have sovereignly protected money rails for every jurisdiction? So I think at the moment, if we marry up probably the requirement for regulatory oversight in every major jurisdiction of the world, we will see innovations where money will be modernized per market, and therefore we will have fractionalized markets, and therefore we will have new assets to trade. We've got swaps to do. We'll have new assets going on venues. So I think the fundamental, firstly, that we have to remind ourselves of is we're in a big era of innovation for our money system to change globally. And I've neatly stayed away from central bank digital currencies and all of that. Stepping back now for a second, we have very large asset owners that have never ever really been able to put their assets to use properly. So if I've got a large portfolio of property, or from an iron ore mine, and I want to create a digital twin of the assets I'm sitting on that represent my long book value whilst I'm digging out and trading in the short-term market, there are many, many new applications of being able to use this technology to represent the value of the underlying asset that could go into custody and be traded in a new set of trading rails. So I think we are going to see, frankly, an explosion of digital assets over the next 10 years. But I think the reasons for the digital assets will be driven.
This is the big picture. This is the stuff that matters, folks. Now, here, listen to the Bitcoin Maxis. The Bitcoin Maxis are coming out of the woodwork to try to scare people away from XRP, and I'm going to explain to you why.
You said one thing to watch in the near term is this sovereign FOMO, the fear of missing out, with some potential countries buying under the radar. Considering the geopolitical fragmentation we're seeing around the world, let's talk about the big U.S. competitors. I mean, who can beat the U.S. to the punch here, and why is that a threat to the dollar?
Yeah, so, we talked about already with China potentially angling to have some sort of a gold-backed currency. And if they did that, there would be a lot of confidence in that currency, and that would pull away from the dollar. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of, I guess, basically what it is. That's the game theory in place. Now, in regards to Bitcoin, maybe some nations beating it to its punch, we know that both China and Russia, Russia's been kicked out of the global financial system. What are they supposed to do? Just go die? No, they'll figure out another system, obviously. And so there's a lot of stuff coming out of Russia. I don't know how much we can believe, but where Bitcoin has been legalized, and maybe they're already starting to acquire Bitcoin. They're starting to use Bitcoin. Some of the BRICS nations, I'm sure, doing the same thing. They're all trying to find a new currency. And this is actually, if you want to look from a little bit of a bigger lens, this is where it gets really interesting, because what we have is the world is breaking apart. Since the 1940s, after World War II, the world got much more centralized. With the UN and the IMF and the BIS, the world has become much more centralized. And currently now the pendulum is swinging back the other way, and we're starting to decentralize, multipolar. And so now Russia's over here, and China's over here, and the BRICS are over here, the US is over here. And what's happening right now is they're all trying to figure out, how are we going to do global trade in this era where we don't have a global currency like the US dollar? Each each country is now trying to manipulate their own currency. The BRICS are trying to say they're going to start their own currency, which I think is a nothing. It's probably never going to happen. None of those nations will ever trust each other. And ultimately, what the world is going to inevitably fall on is there needs to be what was intended in the Bretton Woods Agreement, a neutral reserve asset. That's what we have to have. We need a neutral reserve asset that nobody can control, that nobody can manipulate, and everyone could agree to that. That used to be gold. Gold doesn't work in the information age. So we need a neutral.
Now, this is where he goes off the rails and loses his credibility. Folks, listen to what I'm about to tell you, because I am not a financial advisor, but this is what I'm going to be doing with my crypto profits when I sell. Do not listen to these morons when they say that Bitcoin has replaced gold. Do not listen to these morons when they say that gold just doesn't get it done anymore. That is bullcrap. When I sell my crypto, and I'm not going to sell a bunch of it anytime soon, but when I sell my crypto, I will be buying hard assets with my crypto. And when I say hard assets, I mean physical gold, physical silver, and paid for land, paid for real estate. Banks will not be in my life ever again. That's the goal. That is what makes sense. Do not listen to these people when they start telling you that gold is done. This is God's money. It's been here since the Bible before. Okay? Don't listen to this bullcrap. That is a trap, and it almost feels like they're intentionally setting that trap. Don't listen to it. Let's talk some more about things that don't make sense. Well, here you go.
I'd also like to comment on, this recent Trump tweet, if you would want to call it, about 100% tariffs on the BRIC countries if they start a new currency. I find that really curious, because really I think the biggest threat to the dollar being used as a reserve currency is Bitcoin, which we all hear, Trump is a big supporter of. So it seems a little bit strange to tell them don't produce an alternative reserve currency when really Bitcoin is, being talked about by many countries in the world as their alternative currency, some of them getting rid of gold and going into Bitcoin. So I'm a little curious on how that's going to play itself out once we hear all the details.
It's not Bitcoin is not a threat to the dollar for reasons that the Bitcoin Maxis won't tell you. It's not a threat to the dollar because it doesn't have utility. All it can be is a store of value, and it's a myth that it can't be stopped. You can stop Bitcoin with taxation easily. You can stop it in its tracks. There's a reason they're allowing it to go. I believe part of that reason is that the government does not want your money to flow into physical precious metals. They want it to flow into the fool's gold. They probably laugh about it in meetings. The digital assets that are going to matter are the ones with real utility. Look at what I've typed up here. It's 1,000% true. If any digital asset ever jumps Bitcoin, the Maxis will be forced to explain to the world why Bitcoin is better, aka competition, a novel concept. It's never had to compete. There's never been a level playing field. Have fun with that explanation. This is why you see them come for XRP when they see big moves. You can't explain the unexplainable. And I'll finish here before we go into DAI XRP and talk more about XRP price and where I think it's going and other people do. I saw this video the other day where they're walking through what I call a Bitcoin trailer park with all the mining equipment. And I said, this is me walking through a Bitcoin mining trailer park knowing it's completely unnecessary because XRP and many other second and third generation cryptos that actually have utility don't even need all this waste. That's the fact, Jack. Okay, we're going into DAIXRP.com. We're going to talk more about what happened today and what's coming in price-wise and what people are seeing. I'm in DAIXRP.com. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that away we go.